Welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a pretty short but philosophically dense piece of text today that tackles resilience and, well, the concept of divine timing.
Right.
And we're diving into this because, frankly, when your carefully laid plans fall apart, it is just deeply
It
exhausting.
really is. I mean, humans are basically wired to hate uncertainty. But the material we're analyzing today, it invites you to step back into a much more grounded, meditative space.
Yeah.
It asks you to look at those specific frustrations, the missed opportunities, the roadblocks, through an entirely different, almost stoic lens.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because it doesn't just offer empty platitudes, it reframes our most painful struggles as necessary preparation. The text specifically highlights three major hurdles we all run into: delays, denials, and disappointment.
It's the 3Ds.
The three Ds, exactly. And I'll be honest, when you are in the thick of a massive disappointment, it's really hard not to see it as simply a source of pain. It feels like a giant cosmic punishment.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like being enrolled in an extreme emotional resistance training program that you definitely did not sign up for.
That is a very accurate way to put it. And what's fascinating here is that the source material directly challenges that default human reaction. It asks you to view these painful moments as trails, not pain.
Which is an interesting phrasing. At first glance, it almost sounds like a typo for trials, but the context implies something much more physical.
It does. Think of it as a rugged trail you have to actually hike, rather than just a generic test you either pass or fail.
Hmm.
The underlying philosophy here is that these experiences aren't random acts of suffering you're meant to just passively endure.
Right, they have a purpose.
Exactly. They're rough terrain meant to be traversed. Navigating that specific terrain is what forces you to build your inner strength.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. That sounds great in theory, but realistically, when a delay means you didn't get a vital promotion, or a denial means your mortgage application was rejected, the immediate psychological response is usually pure panic. So how does the text suggest we actually bridge that gap between panic and Zen acceptance?
Well, it bridges that gap using the familiar metaphor of the closed door, but it asks you to rethink the mechanics of that door. We all know the old trope, one door closes, another opens.
Right.
But the text argues that a closed door isn't just a passive piece of bad luck. It is a direct signal that the universe, or whatever you want to call the broader mechanics of your life, is actively guiding your path. It's an active redirection.
So it's not a dead end, it's a detour sign.
Precisely. We naturally want to stare at the closed door and mourn the timeline we had mapped out. But the text suggests that the closing of the door is the very mechanism ushering you toward the specific path that is actually meant for you. It's forcing you down a different corridor.
So what does this all mean for us? It leads right into the text's core command, which is incredibly simple to say but notoriously difficult to execute. Trust the timing. As humans, we love the illusion of control. We have our 5-year plans, our carefully curated timelines. Surrendering that control is terrifying when you're suddenly off script.
It is, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, that's exactly why the text follows up with its most powerful assertion. Destiny never arrived late.
Wow.
That is the anchor of this whole philosophy.
Right.
If you can internalize that idea, that the overarching schedule of your life is fundamentally flawless, it takes the pressure off. Even when you feel hopelessly behind your peers or completely derailed by a sudden denial, you are still exactly where you need to be for your ultimate destination.
It essentially removes the anxiety of the missed milestone. If destiny is never late, then the detour wasn't a waste of time. It was the required route.
Exactly.
It's a complete perspective shift. We're moving from a state of constant frustration over closed doors into a quiet confidence about the journey itself.
And that quiet confidence changes how you operate daily. Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave you with today. It's one thing to understand this conceptually, but try to apply it practically. If you truly believe that destiny never arrives late, how would that change the exact way you react to the very next delay or disappointment you face today?